Welcome back to our channel. Today's gonna be a little bit different. By the end of this video, my nose will also be different. By a lot. Oh, just saying that. And it's not because I'm getting plastic surgery, even though technically according to the codes, yes I am, but according to my doctor, I am not. So that was supposed to be the intro to this video, but as you will see in a video maybe next week, maybe the week after, I'm not sure yet, our SD card got completely wiped out. Everything was gone off of it, and I happened to be able to save a few clips, which I will talk more about in that other video, and that was one of them. And then later in the video you will see a video of me getting the splints removed for my surgery, and those are the only real two videos that I was able to save off of that SD card. But anyways, so let's just start from the beginning, because now a lot of time has passed. I've actually already had the surgery. So basically, like I talked about in the video that we had done before, I had went from my regular doctor wanted me to see ENT, the ear, nose, and throat, for another problem that I was having that still can't figure out why I have it. But then while I was in there, they noticed that I was breathing like really heavily, and he had asked me, you know, is it something I've always had? And yeah, pretty much I can't breathe. So he looked at my nose and he says, yes, you have a deviated septum. So he sent me to the like adult doctor that was a pediatric ENT. So once I went to the regular one, I was already diagnosed with the deviated septum. And then once I got to the other doctor, we already knew I had the deviated septum, and then he had diagnosed me with nasal valve collapse, nasal septal deviation, hypertrophy of both inferior nasal turbinates, yeah, and nasal obstruction. So those were the four things that he had basically said that I, you know, had problems with. So I had to get the nasal turbinate reduction, had to fix the deviated septum, and had to fix the valve collapse. And basically how they had to fix the valve collapse was take cartilage from up here and put it into the sides of my nose. So last week I had the surgery on Wednesday, July 8th. I had to, which sadly I don't have the footage for it anymore because it also had gotten lost, and frankly I don't feel like going through the SD card, and it's a really long process that I'll talk about in the next video. Try to find this one particular video of me getting my coronavirus test. But basically, because of 4th of July, I had to go on Sunday to be able to, the coronavirus test, to have enough time to process and get the results. So I had gotten the coronavirus test on Sunday, and then they had called me Tuesday to tell me the time to come in and everything, and they had lost my coronavirus test. So the first test that I had done was the more invasive test, which to me wasn't that bad. It was just like a uncomfortable feeling, but you know, not really that bad. So when I went into the surgery on Wednesday, they basically did like a rapid test. Wasn't as invasive, it just goes like right on the edges of your nose. So I mean, that didn't really hurt at all. It kind of tickled, made my eyes water. But other than that, like, it really wasn't too bad. So I had to sit and wait for, you know, that to give me the results for it, and then it took about 30 minutes, and then about 10 minutes after that they had called me to come in, and then once I went in, you had to give a urine sample because of being female, I guess. And then after that they bring you to this one bed in like the little room. You have to get changed. Had to be completely, like, everything off besides the gown and some socks, which was very uncomfortable. But then the lady will have you, like, she'll do a couple things, like check your blood pressure, check all the vital, you know, basic things, and then she gives you the IV. She said usually they will give you the IV in your hand, but I was very nervous, and she also said she has kids that are similar to my age, So she didn't want me to be in pain because the hand IV is more painful than the arm. So she was able to let me have it in the arm. So she gave me the IV, and then the doctor came in, had to sign some papers. The anesthesiologist had to come in, had to sign more papers. And I think for that whole process was probably about 20 or 30 minutes again, of just getting ready and everything. And then eventually 2 nurses came in. One of them had put the IV, you know, the anesthesia liquid or whatever it was, the medicine. It started to knock me out very quickly. Within like 15 seconds of them putting it in the IV line, I was laying on the bed as they were wheeling me to the operating room. I was like sitting up, and I was like looking around, talking to them and everything, and then all of a sudden my head just like flings backward, and she's like, you can just lay down, I saw they hit you really hard. So that went in really quickly, and then after that it starts to get like a little bit blurry after that point, because I mean, I remember like being wheeled past the operating rooms and thinking, oh my god, I'm about to get murdered. Like, this is some scary looking rooms. The big circle lights are right on top of you. It was like, from my memory of, you know, half drugged and everything, it seemed like it was very cluttered back there, and I was like, oh my god, this is freaky. And then they made me, because I was still, you know, lucid enough to be able to like move. So they had me like scooch onto the actual like operating table, to they had my head on this like weird pink like circle foam ring, I don't know what you call it, but it was there. So they made me lay on that bed. And then the last thing I can remember is there was the 2 nurses and then the anesthesiologist man leaning over me, and I'm like, y'all are creepy. Y'all just leaning over me, and he's like, oh, are we creepy? As he leans more over me, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, that was the last thing that I really remember, you know, going out of consciousness and, you know, being all loopy. And then waking up, it was the surgery itself, I don't know, how long was it?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at most. And then they brought me to recovery. Then in recovery, you know, you have, when they're doing the surgery, obviously you have the breathing tube. So they had the oxygen mask on me once I was in recovery, and man, everything was so dry. I was sitting there suffering for like 10 minutes because I didn't have the energy to do anything. And I managed, after so long, just got the words, so thirsty. And the man finally brought me some water to drink, and then it got better, and then it started to bleed. So he finally put the drip pad on me, which is very gross. I actually have a picture of me when I was leaving the hospital, and I was really swollen. I had the drip pad. I was bruised. Yeah, I do have one picture of laying in the bed in the recovery room, and in the recovery room, like after I was, you know, lucid enough to be able to like, you know, fully like understand everything, I was able to get back to into my regular clothes. And then they had my mom come get me, and then they had given me pain medicine, some oxycodone, and some just nausea medicine, or what it's called, but just some basic nausea medicine. And they had given me that. They have a pharmacy in the building that I had gotten it done at. So right now it's been 9 days. I had quite a bit of footage, or not quite a bit, I had a little bit of footage of like the day of the surgery, just like later in the day, but it got wiped out. Then I had footage of going back to the doctors on that Friday, on July 10th. They were having my splints removed. Thankfully, I do have a video of getting my splints removed, so I will put it in here.
So in this part of the video, you can see I look pretty drugged. That's because I had taken the oxycodone like right before we went to the appointment, so I was still pretty loopy. And then right now he's cutting the stitches. I had stitches on one side of my nose. I don't know why it's not both, but he's cutting the stitches so he can pull out the splint itself, and then he also wipes some crust.
On the count of 3,
You'll feel like some pressure coming out, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Oh my god, that feels so much better.
Okay, turn towards me. Chin back. Just breathe. That's right. Breathe. Are you rinsing? Good. Okay, rest your head back. Take some breaths, okay? We're all done with that. Now I'm just going to kind of suction the front of the nose, okay? All right, turn towards me a little bit. How you breathing? Okay. So you're real swollen. I mean, that's normal. That'll go down, okay? Chin up real high for me. Okay, good. Good. Breathe in. Great. So you've got little crusts in there. I still want you to be using that ointment that I gave you twice a day, and I want you to be rinsing your nose twice a day. And I'll plan on seeing you about 2 weeks, okay?
As you can see, that was me getting my splints removed. It was a very gross experience. The feeling of it literally being pulled out was, you know, really odd. It's a very strange experience. I had them in there for 2 days because I had them, you know, put in right after the surgery. I had them in there for Thursday, and then Friday morning they were taken out. So he had to cut the stitch on this side, which is the side that had the most work done. And then after he cut the stitch, he cleared out some scabbing and grossness that had built up on the side of my nose. He pulled that out, cleaned it off. Then he actually took the thing out, and you can see him sucking the other mucus and stuff out from the back. So all of that happened, and then I will see him again on the 28th, I believe. Should be like next Tuesday, I think. It is the 28th, 2 Tuesdays from now. I will see him again. I still am having problems with it getting a little bit infected, so they're giving me some antibiotics to take. Because I had so much done, usually it only takes 7 to 10 days to fully heal. They say, you know, don't lift anything over 20 pounds for like a week. Don't bend over for like a week. Don't, you know, only light activity for like 10 days. Sleep with your head raised. Don't like lay flat back, all of that. But because I had so much work done and everything is going to take, you know, 2 to 3 times longer than what it should, I will have to, you know, extend everything out, like laying raised up, no, you know, a lot of activity, no bending over, no lifting heavy things every day. I was doing it twice a day because that's what my doctor had said to do, but now he wants me to do it at least 3 times a day, maybe even 4. Is you have to do a sinus rinse. So I will, after talking about this, I will insert a video of me doing it. It's kind of gross because afterwards usually you have a lot of leakage and you have mucus draining out, and it's really gross. But basically you put bottled water in, 4 ounces, and then you use the saline pre-mixed packets. I recommend this. They have other things, but to me this is, I mean, it doesn't hurt, it just is uncomfortable at most. It's really salty. You have to be careful because this is pretty hard, and I've accidentally like hit my nose, and it has hurt, you know, quite a bit. But the packets are fairly tiny, and you just put it in. And then afterwards, to make it like hot. Not hot, but as hot as you can tolerate in your nose, the cleaner it will get, the more it will, you know, help. And then you have to put in some ointment that he also prescribed to me, antibiotic ointment to, you know, try and help not get any infections. And then what I would do for a while is I would put the drip pad on, or, you know, just gauze and the tape, because like I said, you do get a lot of leakage and it's gonna be really, really gross. If you saw the video that we had posted on Sunday, you will see at a time where it was just leaking out. And that really happens a lot, you know, after the surgery. So right now I am still feeling a decent amount of pain, but like I said, it's going to take a lot longer. I've only been 9 days. So later on I will post like a update video of, you know, exactly how long did it take me to fully recover, how long did it take for all the pain to go away, what did he say in his 2-week, you know, after that visit. I will post more about that. I will try and post, like, put in here some before and after pictures. I did have before pictures of the front, the nostrils, and the side of my nose, but like I said, it all got deleted. So I do have some of the pictures, but they're very blurry. The ones that I was able to recover, they were not the greatest quality. So I have them, but I also have some other ones, some screenshots I've taken from some of the videos we've posted, some of like my nostrils in general, the side view. To me, what's the most noticeable is the side. Before, my nose was pretty big, and the end to me kind of went down a little bit, whereas now it sits more up. And then there's a hump, and to me the hump has definitely gone down, not away, but gone down a good bit. And then like right in the crease, like the bridge and the tip, there's a little bit of a dip now, and that was not there before. That's something new. So my nose has changed quite a bit, as you will be able to see by the before and after pictures of my nose. Honestly, I'm just so thankful to have this surgery, because I had went to another ENT, my sister's ENT, when I think I had just turned, I want to say I had just turned 18, or I was about to turn 19. I think I was about to turn 19. And they basically just said, oh, you have a crooked nose. So at that point I was like, okay, I have all the symptoms, but I should have a crooked nose, I guess. Okay, so be it. But I've always had problems breathing. I can't sleep well at night. The nurse actually said that's why I'm always tired. It's because I don't sleep well at night. I'm not getting enough oxygen. I'm not getting the proper sleep. So, you know, come now, I finally got diagnosed. Yeah, I actually do have a deviated septum, and in fact, the doctor had said that normally he doesn't have to do this much to somebody's nose, so that just shows you exactly how jacked up my nose really was. Yeah, so I mean, it took a while to finally get the diagnosis of it, getting it fixed. I will say another weird thing about it is the roof, like right at the back of your teeth, the roof of your mouth will get numb, or the front, like right here in your teeth, will start to go numb and tingle and hurt, even now. And it's been, you know, 9 days. I'm trying to get back into talking more and working, but the more you move it, obviously, the more it is really gonna hurt. So I would just say take it as easy as you possibly can. If you're either planning on getting the surgery or you are about to get the surgery, just take it easy as possible as you can, and in the end it will be worth it. Right now, the inside of this nose, and even some still in this nose, is very swollen, but honestly, even with it as swollen as it is, and the breathing like hole that I can actually breathe out of being so extremely tiny, I'm having the same amount of like breathing ability now as I did in, you know, before the surgery. So I mean, it's already obviously working. So I do think it'll be really worth it in the end. I've heard many people say, you know, going through it's miserable, but the end result is really, you know, worth it. But yeah, so I will do an update video in a couple of weeks. Like I said, talking about how long the pain lasted and, you know, everything else that I had went through, taking the antibiotics and everything. But I think that is all for today. So if you enjoyed this video, please give us a big thumbs up. And then if you have any more questions, or if I didn't explain anything well and you want to know more, just comment down below and I will be glad to answer any questions that you do have about the surgery. I know I had plenty and it seemed like they were never getting answered, but also make sure to subscribe to our channel and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Bye.